Right now, all the uproars over the lip-syncing that occurred during the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, by replacing the little girl who sang the song with another girl because she was deemed, and I quote, not cute enough. And I will say this did bother me too, but not in the way it does for many other people. What really bothered me was the fact that the little girl did not get to have her moment in the sun, and she'll never get an opportunity like that again, and now it's gone forever. Most people know the story of Paul Potts, who's on the show Britain's Got Talent. Now, he's not the most attractive person in the world, but in all reality, who is? There are a lot more Paul Potts in the world than Halle Berrys and Brad Pitts, but keep in mind, this is show business. Now, what made that first performance on the show so special was you actually saw someone's dream come true right in front of your eyes. And I consider the original Paul Potts performance to be one of the greatest videos that I've ever seen on the internet, and this should have been Yang's as well. What really bothers me, almost as much as her being cast aside for the, quote, cuter girl, is how the media around the world is going after China for this, like, we don't do things like this in our country. We have our own Milli Vanillis and people lip-syncing to studio music that many artists could never reproduce themselves, even if their life depended on it. And virtually every magazine has every photo of every person airbrushed. And think about what this says to every girl out there that we even airbrush as supermodels. Now, most girls can look in a mirror and quickly realize that they're far from being Giselle's twin. So if they have to airbrush women pretty enough to be a model, then what chance do they have? I will say one thing for China. At least they owned up to the situation and didn't try to gloss it over. They said, and I quote, there were a number of candidates to sing that song, and at the end of the day, the artistic directors picked the best voice and the best performer. And also said the job of the ceremony's directors was to achieve the most theatrical effect. While I don't agree with the decision, I really wonder how different we are here and around the world today. Looks account for a lot more than we all like to admit, and it is a fact that some people do win the gene pool lottery. And sure, life's a hell of a lot easier for you when you're smoking hot, but we also play into that way too much. And the only time we really care about it or address it is on these rare occasions. And it's often been discussed how a Janis Joplin would have fared in today's music industry, where image is everything. I fail to see the difference between taking a person that looks like this and making them look like this. To me, this is just as bad, and they are both a lie. And they make it seem as if China is the only one to ever choose looks over talent. And I think we all know we're just as guilty in America for this as any country in the world. And some of the most beautiful women in the world get touched up in their photos, and we've been selling image over substance for as long as I can remember. There probably isn't a single person out there that's a performer that hasn't thought of getting some work done to make themselves look a little better on camera. And there's a hell of a lot of pressure on people to look their best, and this is just the latest example. That little girl's moment was taken from her, and an opportunity like that will never happen again. All because she wasn't cute enough. Well, who is?